If I told you that in time past, anytime I see weevils in my flour, I tend to dispose it no matter the quantity. I mean, I remember there was a time I still had, I think, about 12.5 kg of flour, and I disposed it because I saw weevils, not until I sought counsel and I eventually discovered that it's not proper for you to dispose your flour just because you are seeing weevils in it. So in this video, I'm just going to be sharing with you how I've been able to overcome this. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. You call me Queen Nola, Queen Nola. Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I would like to say thank you so much for stopping by. And if you're a returning subscriber, you know that I really do love and appreciate you. So today we are going to be talking about flower mites and also weevils that sometimes really affect the flower. And if you're not careful, they can just take over your flower and you may eventually just, run at a loss because you're going to be disposing your flower for the longest. So you don't want that. So let's just talk about it very quickly. Now, weevils are tiny brown or black insects that attack dry food like flour, rice, beans, pasta, and grains, right? Now, they look like small ants, just like you're seeing in this video, or tiny beetles. And they also move. So it could be really scary opening your flour and then you're seeing that there are weevils in it. And they can also be seen crawling inside your flour or around your container. Now, sometimes flour already contains eggs from the factory or market, so you can see that sometimes it's not overly your fault, and when the flour gets warm or is stored for long, the eggs hatch into weevils, right? The eggs hatch into weevils. So sometimes these problems are actually factory problems, while sometimes these problems are self-imposed problems. Now, while that is for weevils, there's also something called flour mites, and they are very tiny pests that affect flour, baked goods, and other dry food. They are almost invisible with the naked eye, hence the reason why in this video you are going to be seeing that I sifted this flour twice. I literally sifted this flour twice with two different sieve, right? Just watch and you're going to see what I'm talking about. Now the first sieve actually had like a larger hole, but it helped me to be able to eradicate, lots and lots of the weevils, right? So the second sieve has a tighter hole than the first sieve. Do you understand? So hence the reason why I had to do it twice, because a lot of the mites, they actually escaped the first sieve. So, and they can cause the flour to have a damp, dusty or sweet smell. Now, mite is also the reason why the flour begins to mold, like they begin to become clumpy, they begin to mold, and then they are not more as fluffy and powdery as possible. So now we are going to be talking about how we can effectively prevent weevils and mites in our flour, especially in Nigeria's climate where heat and humidity encourage infestation. All right, so now once you buy your flour from the market, it is advisable for you to open it inside an airtight container and then you pour your flour inside. Okay, you don't just leave it on the floor. I think that was one of the things I did. I left mine on the floor because after buying it I traveled, so I just left it on the floor and then I left for where I wanted to go to. So for the period in which I wasn't around, I discovered that, my flour was already infested with a lot of weevils. So some of the ways you can actually prevent this is that number one, you have to store your flour in an airtight container. So once you open the bag, you should transfer your flour into a sealed plastic, an airtight plastic or a glass containers, because this actually prevents insects from entering or laying eggs. Okay, another way you can prevent is by keeping your flour in a cool, dry place. Reason being that these insects, they tend to breed in heat. Okay, they tend to breed in heat and humidity, so you don't want that. So try as much as possible to prevent your flower from being directly under the sunlight, and ensure to store in a cool storage room. Okay, then another one that is going to shock you guys, because I actually tried this and it made a whole lot of sense. Another way we can prevent the weevils is by adding some natural repellents. Now you can add bay leaves because they don't like the smell of it. Mm. Weevils hate the smell inside. So when you put it inside your container, you can just put like 2 or 3 of bay leaf inside your container. And if you're not okay with putting bay leaves, you can actually add cloves, or you add your dried pepper. Okay, or you add your dry pepper. Ensure that your environment is clean and disinfected at all times. You can use vinegar, mild bleach solution, cleaning spray. Just try as much as possible to disinfect your storage area. Then ensure that you don't keep your flower for too long. This could also breed weevils. I hope you've learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.